Alright, so here I am upstairs in my house where I got my 3D printer running, printing box inserts for my game. One box insert takes about 10 hours to print, so I've got 12 copies of my game to make 12 inserts for, and I think I've got to make a couple more for people who want them shipped to them. But you know, 10 hours times 12, that's 120 hours. This thing's been going non-stop. And I'm going to have to make an order for some new filament. That's the plastic string that goes through the hot end extruder and builds up layer by layer each of these details on the plastic piece. So it's been a couple days since I posted last because, well, like yesterday, had a vehicle problem, and that just went to the shop and it's back already. So that's been all consuming for me. I'm now getting ready to do my first prototype for a holiday ornament for an order that just came in last week. Every Christmas season, starting around the fall time, I get orders for bulk orders of custom Christmas ornaments made out of wood that go to typically military organizations. So those come in quantities of like a dozen, 20, or 100, sometimes 500 ornaments. So that's something that's going to start to consume me very heavily. I've got one order that's paid, so I got to get that prototype done, and then I got another order that I owe a prototype to this weekend before she pays. She's a regular customer, so I always, you know, waive the deposit for that one. So now I'm going to sit down right there in that chair right there and put on whatever YouTube channel I want to watch and pick up my iPad and start designing the digital copy of the prototype. The digital copy will then go to my laser, and I'll start cutting out pieces of wood, and I'll show you how that goes. Alright, so here I am on my iPad, and this is what the customer sent me as their concept, and this is where I'm starting from. So it's a picture of what they drew, and here's a picture of their organizational coin that they hand out as on-the-spot awards. So we're using the picture from the coin, and then they've got a couple things that they want to see depicted in the Christmas ornament. See, it's got the little it's got the little ribbon loop up top, and it's got the cross sabers and their unit organization right there, and you know, their symbol. So they want this to be cut out right here, the lightning bolt. So that's what I have to work with, and now let's go to the iPad. Alright, so here I am on the iPad in a program called Autodesk Graphic. I'm not even sure if this program is supported anymore, if it gets updates or not, but it's a program that I've used a ton for all my design work. And so here I've got my reference image that I found online. We're going to use that to make our different layers that will be cut out in wood with the laser. And here's the customer's reference that I pointed out just a minute ago. And now we're going to get to work. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm going to do a single kind of a border layer. So it's going to have a black or just a wood border for here, and these will be integrated into one piece. And then I'm going to have the background, we'll have the red and the white and the black here. Light horse. The word light horse will be burned into this. And then the sabers and the 17 and the 3 will be parts of this background piece. And then the horse head will be a separate piece that gets glued onto the top of the two. Alright, check it out. Got the design all done. This is what it looks like, ready to go to the laser. Red lines are cut lines, and black lines are burn lines, so it's just enough to make a mark. So here it is. Here it is completed. I'm going to break it down into its basic parts. So first up, you've got the base piece, which is this. This red line is actually just going to be like a drawing, so it gives me a marker for where to put the horse head piece. So it's actually a different red than the cut line red. Then it's got the black lines, light horse up here on the top, and then like the details of the sabers down here, those are burned in. And then you got the 3 and the 17, which are, you know, just burns. I'm going to show you that here in a minute. Okay, then it gets the 2 frame pieces. So let's take that off. So here are parts 2 and 3. Again, you got part 1, part 2 and 3, which are going to be cut out of wood and placed on top of part 1. So it frames everything and gives that depth. And then you've got the horse's head. Let's take that off. So here's the red line. The other red lines are covered up by the black, so this whole thing will get cut out. And first it gets everything burned in, all the black parts burned in, and the red line is going to go back and it's going to cut that out. And fully assembled, it's going to look like this. It's got the ribbon loop up here. It gets a ribbon. Everything gets glued together. So we've got 4 parts. And I will need to make 40 of these, I believe it was. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go down to the garage and fire up the laser and get this cut out and shown off. And then we'll take it to the client for approval, and then we'll mass produce. Alright folks, we're back out here in my shop with my laser. It's the Morntech L960. It's from China, but it's a laser that shoots a powerful beam of light through a series of mirrors and into a focused lens and down onto a surface where it cuts and it burns and it does amazing things. So I've got the pattern that I just designed into the computer. This is a software called Lightburn. And I've got it set up in the software to do different tasks. Like the red is the cut lines, black are burn lines. So I've kicked the exhaust hose out the back door, and then I'm going to turn on the accessories that this machine needs to run. So it needs a air compressor to keep compressed air blown out onto the surface. It needs the exhaust fan, and it needs a chiller to run through the laser tube to keep things at operating temperature. Then the only thing I have to do is hit start on the computer, and the laser takes over from there. So let's watch that. Alright, so everything looks like it came out real good, and we're going to go ahead and pick the parts out and put them together with super glue. And here we are with all 4 parts of our design and a ribbon and super glue. Now this stuff used to be not quite $5 a bottle, but looks like the pandemic and the inflation, they've taken the excuse to go ahead and make this over $7 a bottle. Now, probably not a big deal to most people, but I go through about a dozen bottles of these a year. But excuse the rant, but you know, that's the way of things in this present economy. I think it's very much greed based, because it doesn't cost $7 to make this, or to profit off this even. Alright, so I'm gonna glue up my horse head and place it over the outline that we had drawn into the design. Just like so. Then we'll put the top banner border on. And the main border. I don't know if yellow is the color the client wants, but yellow is the color of the cavalry. So we'll just assume that it's a safe option, but they may choose a more festive Christmas color like green or of course red. And there it is. So there's the first prototype of the season, ready to go. I'm going to take a picture and send it off to the client for approval. And then if there's any changes, we'll make those, and then we'll go to mass production. So I think I need to make 40 of these, and then I'll be off to the next order. After some consideration, I decided to make the top half of the shield a dark color, so I burned it because it's red on the actual image. So I think that looks much better, and we'll see what the client says.